Hey Brad, Heath here, Double D Trailers. We're at the Western States Horse Expo in Sacramento, California. Kayla and myself, we're having a blast. Nice living quarter trailer that a client of ours so kindly allowed us to use at the show. She'll be here today to pick it up. So I wanted to go through this with you and give you a few pointers on living quarters and how to operate things. So we'll dive right in. This is just the inside furnace and the exhaust system for that. That's what provides your heat. This particular trailer has a 50 amp hookup for electrical. Most have a 30, but it has an onboard generator, which does require the higher amp service. So that's what you're seeing there. City water connection. If you have access to a water hose wherever you're camping, you could just plug right in here. It bypasses the water pump and the fresh water system on the trailer. You don't even need to operate the pump. So just the pressure from the city water connection will take care of you. If you are remote camping and you don't have a water hose to use, just fill this tank up, stick the hose in it. When the water gurgles out, it's full. And turn the water pump on the inside, and that's what you're pulling from. In this particular unit, I think we have approximately 40-gallon tank holding tanks. We'll get a shot at those. Those are right here. So you have a black tank, which is for toilet, and then a gray tank, which takes care of the shower water along with the sink water. As we move on around, there are two types of breakers. This is the 50 amp, or actually a 60 amp thermal circuit breaker on this one. To turn it on, yeah, just do that right there, and then to turn it off, you could do like so. So only thing that this does is activate the 12-volt batteries underneath the gooseneck. There we are. And with the batteries, you're operating the interior horse lights. You can operate fans, exterior flood, load lights, the lighting inside the trailer. You can operate the water pump. Of course, your water heater runs off of propane. You can pretty much do everything off of battery, with the exception of probably television, air conditioning, and microwave. Everything else is either 12-volt or propane. So we'll continue to move around. The other type of switch that may be on your battery, if it's a 30 amp service, it'll be a large red switch about this size in diameter, and it'll have an off, on, and I think 1 or 2 battery selector. Those are generally mounted on the side of the battery box. Your propane tanks, they come in a 20-pound or a 30-pound. Generally, West Coast has more access to 30-pound refills than we do on the East Coast. So these are the 30s, and the generator is propane, so we want as large a tank as possible. Now, I don't know if you can see on the camera, this is red, right? So the tanks are off. If I turn this on, nothing happens because the arrow is pointed this way. If I turn this one on, voila, it now goes to green. So what that means is this tank selector simply tells the device here which tank to pull the propane from first, because the last thing you want to do is use both tanks down at the same time and you're out in the middle of Timbuktu and oh my gosh, I don't have any propane. So what will happen is this tank will completely deplete. This will turn red, even with the arrow pointed this way, and it'll automatically switch over. So that's an automatic changeover device. Once it switches over, you're gonna say, oh man, my tank is out, it's red. Then you flip it to the other tank, it'll turn back green, and you know to go fill this one up. And you just keep flipping back and forth until, that way you don't worry about running out of propane. All right, let's move on around to the LQ. See, the inside lights are running. This is all off the 12-volt battery. This particular client ordered an electric motor, which I think is super duper cool. I don't do a lot of electric, but maybe we want to start pushing with more. I really like it. Anyway, the manual version works just fine as well, but these are certainly impressive and easy to use. Outside, this is the exhaust vent for the range hood over the cooktop. Just have an exterior 110 receptacle, so if you're plugged into a campsite hookup with your 50 amp on the other side that we showed earlier, or your generator's running, you can plug a drop cord in here, perhaps run a fan or coffee pot on the table or something like that. This is your hot water heater. You typically don't have to get in here for anything because it's an auto ignite. This one is gas and electric at the same time. So the fact that we have two elements in it operating simultaneously, it really heats the water up quickly. You'll have ample hot water with that. And of course with the gas version, runs off the propane, and if you have electric, then both elements would function. The only time that you'll have to get in here, as I was saying, is probably for winterization. Remove that big plug, it'll drain all the water out of the heater, and if there's no water there, it's not going to freeze. A lot of folks say, well, how do I winterize my trailer? And you simply get all the water out. So it's not too difficult to do, and we can talk about that more. All right, you want to step on inside? Get in there behind me. We'll start here with our lights. So these switches, these are your reading lights, your main, of course the awning switch, interior, the porch light that's going to be outside, and the entry light is just a lighted grab handle. It looks really cool at night, kind of some fibers going through. These folks ordered the optional television. It's on a swivel arm, so you can kind of bring it around and position it a little bit, but this was exactly, they were very focused on trying to keep the trailer shorter. So this is a 9-foot short wall versus a 10, and the television is really compact in there, but it has a roof mount antenna. And with this antenna, you have the option for 5G connection, satellite television coming in, Wi-Fi, and maybe even something else, I can't remember. So lots of options. Just scan the QR code and you can sign up for that. Now for the mattress, this is an 8-inch, so pretty thick, maybe even a 10. And you can see I'm 5'10", and it's okay, but if you can't really sit completely straight in the bed. If you go with a 4-inch foam, you'll have 4 inches more of headroom, and I think I could sit up straight without bending my head. Lots of storage up here. So I love these doors. The cabinetry is solid wood. We've got hangers for just hang some shirts or clothing up in there. We did a 12-volt connector, so you can charge your cell phone here, along with a 110, and the same thing on that side as well. Now this particular vent, if I just hit the on button, the lid raises automatically. I don't know if you can hear that, if this mic will pick it up, but the fan is bi-directional, meaning it'll push air or pull air. It's variable speed, which means it has a thermostat control on it. If you want it colder, the fan's going to run faster to pull in more air, and if you don't need as much, it will slow down. Really nice fan. Has a rain sensor if it starts raining, so you're laying in bed at night, you have the windows open, the weather's cool, and it's blowing air out, which means it's pulling in through your windows. If it starts raining, it will close automatically. All right, this is just a pedestal table, goes in front of the sofa. I used to mount them in the floor, which I didn't like because you had holes in your floor. Now we just use these nice legs, and you could store it in a closet underneath the sofa, or I just like throw them on the bed when I'm not using them. We have the shades, which I really like. A little different than what we used to use, but these are a major improvement. We're required by RVIA, which is the Recreational Vehicle Industrial Association, it's a mouthful, to have an egress escape window on the opposite side of the entry door. So the reason for that is if the trailer catches on fire and you can't get to the door, you have a way out. And in order to do that, you would just flip both of those red levers and push it, and the whole window will swing out for you. And then you can just open the window as well. It has a screen on it if you just want some airflow. So I love those. I'll pull that back down. And there's the remote to the fan I was telling you about. So this is a really tripped up fan. This client ordered some overhead cabinet on one end of the bed. I typically don't put them on both ends just because it's kind of gaudy or sticks out in the head area. I don't want you to hit your head on a cabinet. Layouts vary by length. If this were a 10-foot layout, the things would, I think we'd have a closet here and perhaps a different step mechanism to get in the bed. But for this one, I like it because now I have this floor space, right? So it's very easy. This lighter is lightweight and quite functional, right? So easy up and down. Stereo system, it really kicks. It's Bluetooth connection. You can do an auxiliary port. I think the television will play through that. So pretty decent electronics on it. Roof mount speakers here, 2 inside and then 2 outside as well. We generally don't put the power converter or the breaker panel, so to speak, in the cabinet, but because we shorten the layout, it limits the space, and so this is where it had to go. And we've got everything labeled with all the 12-volt fuses and the 110. This also recharges the battery. Love the storage in here because we've got lots of junk in it because we're at the show, but the character of the wood you can still see. The raised panel doors, it's just such a nice finish. Rounded corners, wood crown moldings, recessed or flush mount lighting. The air conditioning system is a ducted unit, and we have roof vents, so it blows your air through the ductwork versus some of the units are sticking down right here and the vent is just directly on the unit. I don't like the non-ducted because they blow really hard, and yeah, I just don't like air blowing on me at night. This is a much better system in my opinion. We did a flip up counter extension just to give you a little more space to cook with in the morning or wash some dishes and throw pots and pans up there. Now this panel, our customer ordered dual solar panels. I think they're what, 750 watt or something like that on this system. And the solar panels will keep the battery recharged. All the things we talked about that operate on battery earlier, that's what this is doing, which I really like. We have a tank monitor system, so if I press BATT for battery, you can see it comes up full. My black tank is empty, my gray is empty, and my fresh is empty right now. The 5G connection I was referring to earlier, that's just your Wi-Fi prep switch. Your water heater, if I had electric going, that would function, and if I press the top one, the propane portion's going to function. Okay, water pump, water heater again, and this is the electric one, I'm sorry, and that's for the propane function. This particular trailer also has an onboard generator, so if I press the prime on this side, this will light up, and then if I press start and hold it in, voila. You probably can't hear that. This is an Onan, or Onan, O-N-A-N, micro quiet generator, functions off of propane, and I really like it. So we'll hit the stop button. That'll power the microwave and the air conditioning system and the television. Underneath here, that's just the water heater. You remember on the outside was the access to that, and some of the valves are related to winterization. If you want to pump RV antifreeze inside, my recommendation is just to open the valves on the sink, valves on the shower, valve on the outside water connection, and flip the pump on and let it just pump all the water out that it can. Leave the valves open, drain it out of the hot water system, and if you don't have water in the lines under pressure, they're not going to freeze. So pretty easy to do. This is a convection microwave. I love the storage on this trailer. Even though it's compact, we still have good storage. But convection, suburban cooktop. This one comes standard with the flush mount surface. And let's see if we're, how does that work? Oh, there we go. Voila. So we got propane. If it doesn't have an auto ignite, and some don't, and some of the models, you would just pick up a grill lighter from the grocery store, turn the propane on and flick it, and then you would light it, okay? And of course we have all the safety stuff for LP gas and carbon monoxide and things of that nature to make sure that you're safe. Now generally on a 10-foot short wall, which is 1 foot longer than this unit, we would have the tall refrigerator. because this customer wanted to shrink it down a little bit, that tall refrigerator normally goes here. You can imagine if I had one more foot, I'd have the space to do it. But this is where the closet went to, with some hanging, so you could hang in there, or probably put more shelving in it if you want. The refrigerator, those are pretty easy to operate. This one functions off of 12 volt and propane, or maybe 110 and propane. I'll have to look up the model, but it'll automatically choose. My recommendation is just use propane while you're traveling. They work fantastic, and your fridge will cool really quickly. So this is a fold-out sleeper sofa, and the way you fold it out, of course, if you look underneath, you can see the water tank, fresh water tank under there, but just like so, very easy to fold out. Now, folding back in is not quite so easy. If you just pick it up and you start pushing it, it's not gonna go very well. So what I've found is if I take my right hand and leg and just kind of push here, my left hand, grab the back of it and pull, so like I'm squeezing almost, and you can see it's very easy at that point, okay? So that's the way you operate that. I want to show you the generator. It has an onboard with a roof mount rack. So because this is an 8-wide trailer, which most living quarter units are, we can't put the ladder on the outside because it'll be over legal width, over 102 inches. So that's why the ladder is on the back door, but honestly, I like it fine. It works great. You got plenty of steps. Yeah, pretty easy to crawl up. So with the roof mount rack, you're going to have just the hay rack portion. From here back, you will not have this platform. This is a generator platform. So I'm going to show you how that works. Generator has its own battery. There's two underneath the front, and then a separate one here, just so the generator can start, even if those other batteries are dead. Couple of latches to hold the box down. It's well ventilated. This folds back to the side. There's a cable to catch it, so you have plenty of room for a service person to get to work on the generator. This is a Cummins Onan. It's actually propane, which I really like. It's very quiet. We could fire it up and listen to it, but so this is sealed so it doesn't leak. You have to kind of pull that off. You can see you've got a male-female rubber plug there. That's why it's kind of tight, okay? There's a 30-amp breaker inside. I'm not a generator person. I don't know how to work on these, so you would definitely have to go to a qualified generator and RV shop if you have issues with it. But general troubleshooting, I mean, you can check your oil here. If something's not functioning, check the generator for sure. And let's see. So there is a start button here, but there's also one inside the living quarter, which I really like. So you don't have to get up here to start the generator. Just press the button inside, it will start, and you can shut it down from the inside. If you purchase a roof mount hay rack, this is what you're going to get. I would try to stand on the cross members. You can stand on the roof. I mean, you're not going to fall through, but certainly just stay on the cross members. Otherwise, if you're not on a roof bow, you could crack the gel coat on the fiber composite roof. This particular client added roof mount solar panels. And one more thing about the roof, you can see it's white, okay? White reflects more heat than any other color. Every trailer we build has a white top just like this. The only portion that you see on the side is the curve. That's the painted portion. It's really just for cosmetics. So you can choose what color paint that you want just to dress it up. So we want it to look good. But she elected to have solar panels. I love these panels. They were pricey for the whole system, but there's a monitor inside the living quarter. And these two panels will keep your batteries charged very well when remote camping. So you can run everything on the trailer with the solar, except for air conditioner, microwave, and I think maybe the television is a 110 volt. Yes, everything else you can operate from 12 volt or propane.